We appreciate your
appreciate y'all.
conversation. You're a superstar in the making, bro.
Thank you,
Super
brother.
excited for
Thank
what
you,
you're gonna
brother.
do, what you're gonna do to the
Yep.
community. Anything we can do to help, please feel free to reach out and
Most
we'll make it
definitely.
happen.
And we
Most
want to work
definitely.
with people that are actually doing it, not people that just talk, because there's a lot of people that we run into that
Yeah.
talk. We want
Yeah.
the doers, bro. And we're only linking with doers.
Mhm.
That's it. That's my mental health, bro. Because I'm tired of it, dude. I'm tired.
But also, thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
We appreciate the views.
Mama.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 views. That already gets us hyped up. So just
Yeah.
thank you taking the time. And we do this for y'all. Just entertainment, having a conversation, nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
we want to put everybody on. So if you're down, comment down below. We'll schedule you in.
Bring your crazy uncle over here, dude.
But we like to wrap things up with just a positive message, mental health. I feel like everybody struggles with it. You don't know who is going through what at any particular moment.
Yeah.
But if you want to speak on something specific, or do you have a message for anybody that just wants to grow as an entertainer, influencer, what would you recommend? What would you advise, or at least guide them in the
A
right way?
mentality
Yes.
that you know that
Something.
helps you get through certain things that you've gone across.
Yeah, man. I've definitely struggled with mental health for a very long time, you know. And we all got our own struggles, you know, and it's an individual journey, but it don't have to be alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like, especially I'll be straight up and just keep it 100 in the Black community. It's not really a thing. Like my family from the South.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a thing, like Arkansas and shit. Like you ain't talking about no mental health. You getting through what you need to get through, and given the struggles of the, because I don't even judge them for that. You know what I mean? I could look back on it and be like, oh, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But when no one gave a fuck what a Black man was going through, when you know you gotta feed your children.
Yeah.
You coming off the back of slavery, you know, like you got to just push through it. Education wasn't always guaranteed a thing.
Yeah.
My grandpa dropped out in like 3rd grade
Yeah.
to drive a tractor. You know what I mean? That has residuals effects
Yeah.
on family members and so on and so on. So now I feel like I'm at a crossroads where I recognize it, I see it for what it is, and we have the power to actually address it and actually benefit people, like people our own age, older people that may be stuck in their ways, or younger people that are coming up. I see younger people talking about it all the time. Like, I got anxiety, I got this, I got that, you know. And I worked in the school system for a little bit, so I see how much it's changed since then.
What school? Like
I work for the Wanimi district.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And I see how different it was from, you know what I mean? Like from what the fuck we got, you know? Like I never felt comfortable being like going to somebody being like, I got anxiety, I got this, or I can't focus, I got ADHD, I got this, I got that. You know, like I never saw nobody, or at least nobody that was going through that was willing to talk about it or felt comfortable talking about it. But I feel like with everybody more so talking about it, and everybody being able to find their niche, like even if it's on TikTok or YouTube where somebody's talking about it, at least they got somebody. You know, like we didn't really have that. We didn't really have Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all these resources where you can find an algorithm that works for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We grew up on bullying. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
but
you
we
good.
grew up on bullying. Like that was a thing. I don't hear it as much now, but like we got picked on. Could have been whatever it could have been the color of your skin, the weight, whatever you have. But we didn't have nobody to be like, oh hey, let me talk to you about somebody's, like you just kept that. You ate that. That's it.
You just held it inside, and that could follow you into adult years and shit.
And
you know,
I'm proof of that, bro. Like I thought my life was so isolated, like my events of my life that I went through. But the more I talk to it, and people like, I'm able to like open up to people where they open up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you went through that too?
Yeah.
You went through the same thing? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many people, like there's so many things that pop up on the internet. Like, what do you mean you pretended like you were dead in the pool so people could see that you
Like,
see if
all right,
anybody
is
gives
he
a fuck?
dead? Is he hurt? Like,
Yeah, like-
would you want the attention of just knowing that am I somebody that matters?
does that? Yeah. Does anyone care?
Yeah.
You know, and it's all out of like desperation.
Yeah.
Like when somebody does some shit like that, it's not their first fucking feeling they had. They've been living with that for a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad you guys have this segment because it's so important to just make it okay to not be okay.
100%. You're not in it by yourself.
You're not in it by yourself. People struggle because I remember I used to look at people. I moved out here when I was like in 6th grade, right? So it was different.
Oxnard?
Oxnard, yeah.
Okay.
So I got uprooted from LA.
Okay.
And it was, obviously like it was a whole different culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't look like nobody. I got my family, but I'm like, oh.
You're like 101 right now. You're like,
what's going on here? And I remember just like thinking things and feeling things and all that shit. And I never had no one to go to, no one to talk to. Yeah. And I never felt it was okay to talk about that shit either. So like what you guys are doing here is like definitely important, even if it's not towards our generation. Our generation might be like, I turn that off. Yeah. I'm not going to view that one. It's a little difficult for me.
It's going to take time. But somebody will connect, and they will connect eventually. Just because it's not happening right at that specific moment, doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Yeah. You will go through it.
One day we're going to make a nonprofit for this, bro. By the way, manifest it one day.
Yeah, 1000%, because it's important. It's important, like if someone would have came to me and just maybe answered a few questions, there's probably a whole lot of things that I could have not have gone through with,
We've had a guest on, and just having one conversation with a stranger will change the course of your history.
Yeah.
Just one conversation.
It really
you don't know, and it doesn't have to be a family member, a friend. It can be a complete stranger.
Yeah.
But
it's
open up to that.
It's our job to talk to the youngers and say, you're actually pretty good at that. You can be great. Keep going, because that little discussion can change their whole fucking life, is what he's saying. His whole path.
And like I said, like I worked with kids, like I see the future generation. Like I've seen, like we all got parents.
Yeah.
Some of them are cool as fuck. Some of them have really bad habits. Even the cool ones got bad habits or bad things they learned from their parents.
Their upbringings. It's like they didn't grow up to be mean.
Exactly.
They got beat into it, and they became who they are.
And it was a different time.
Yep. Like
we are living in a different time. So, now that we just have the power to kind of impact that, like some child, like there's people I've seen. Shout out Mia Mormino, and everyone else I can't think of it right now, but that will really show themselves. Like Mia Mormino, I had her on the show. She's a beautiful girl. She could be doing Photoshop. I'm gonna look perfect, all that stuff, but she'll post with pimples or not perfect skin. Okay. She'll say like, this is me. I look great here, and this is how I really, really look. She got a song about, when she was having suicidal thoughts at a point. And that shit is inspiring to me to be so public. Because I feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, that's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want people to look at me all weird, But it's like when I see artists and people in general talking about like even you guys talking about mental health, that's fucking important. And I love that. That's so beautiful to me, because who knows who's going to see this? It could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years from now. Yeah. And someone might be inspired by that. Mm-hmm. And to know that you having that impact, possibly having that impact, is beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah. No, thank you, man. Like I said,
right now.
Like before we started the podcast, that was the one thing that was the one element that we're like, who are we? Like, yes, we're funny, we get along, we're cool, we know people, we can call people up, but what are we? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
When I realized that he was there for me for certain situations in my life, vice versa, I was like, bro, we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
We need to talk about mental health. We need to talk about that, bros. Bros need bros.
Bros need bros, man.
Bros need bros, because if you're by yourself, that's the worst feeling.
Yeah, that's the worst
feeling.
And some people don't even have that person to vent to, like you were saying. They don't even have that person they trust to get that off. And all they knew to get that off and be like, oh, I feel better. Instead of holding that shit.
All they might have needed.
Go.
That's all some people need sometimes. So that's why I'm a big advocate of therapy. Ain't no fucking shame in talking to some random person that don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like I think that's a great thing. Yeah. Like you have no investment, you have no bias, you have no
judgment.
Whatever. Yeah, and
That's what
I'll be
everybody's
honest.
scared of. Everybody's being judged every time.
Everybody's being judged, and I'll be honest. Like I still haven't really like 100% taken that step into like going to continuous therapy and all that stuff. But I think everybody need it. Like it's not about weakness. It's not about
That's strength.
It's strength to really reach out and be like, hey, I need some help in this area. You know, just like AA or NA. Like it takes strength to do that.
You're bettering yourself.
You're bettering
don't
yourself.
turn it negative. You're bettering yourself.
And you only get this one life.
Yeah.
You only get this one life.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Not a long time. So why even care about, oh, that person's gonna look at me this way because they, you know, I'm going to this guy. It don't make sense. Everybody need to focus on themselves, get themselves right, do whatever the fuck they want to do, leave that job, start a business, whatever you want to do. You really only have one life. I understand that past generations, it might have been like, yeah, you can only work for this factory, right? Like maybe you know, maybe you can't, you know, do your own thing. But nowadays with AI, you know, with YouTube, with, you know, everything, it's in front of us. Yeah. And just like this episode's gonna be, that wasn't a thing back in the day. You could just put a video on the internet to talk to people and they can look at it for free. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a very beautiful time that we're in right now. And I love that you guys are using it for like, especially this topic, because it's a very important topic. Yeah. And I'm 100% behind it.
Thank you. Thank you. I like to sprinkle this message whenever I can. The one thing you cannot sell, barter, or trade is time. Use your time that you have with the people that you love, things you want to do, let it out. Who cares? Because 1,000 years from now, this never happened.
Exactly.
But on YouTube, we happened. So that's what kind of got us into it. But before we kind of go, any shout outs, links, where can people find you? Where can they communicate with you?
Mostly I'm on Instagram. So that's King J _ WVTSI. That's mostly where you can find my stuff. That's mostly what I connect through and all that stuff. I do have a link tree that should be in the bio or the YouTube. And yeah, you should be able to find everything there. I'm gonna try to keep that
as your main,
so it doesn't change. Yeah. Okay. So the Instagram, and I'll try to have a link tree in there where you can find everything, even my other channels. I got a photo booth company, like, you know, and I got an Instagram for that. I got like just little creative things I do, and I got an Instagram for that, and there's a whole lot more I plan on doing. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep everything in that link tree right there.
Cool. Awesome. Last message. Anything else you want to
make us a part of that journey, bro? Please. Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I definitely want to say shout out to y'all for having me on. I appreciate everything y'all doing and how y'all doing it.
Thank you.
And everybody that's helped me along my journey, in whatever ways, you know, even if it was a 50 cents to take the bus, you know, which actually happened.
We got us here.
You know, anybody, but especially the people like Roxy and AK and you know, people that really, Vina and Jack, people that really like believed in what I was doing and offered me some help. So awesome. Yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all.
I'm a believer.
Thank you so much. And shout out to Adam for being a special guest fan right there. But off camera, appreciate y'all. Artificially Genuine. We'll be back next week.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, guys.
And that's a wrap.
Oh, I'm fucking sweaty, man. God, I need to